So, as you've probably seen, Mr. H is not here today, a little bit ill, but I will be back next class period. So, just like we typically do if I'm not here, there is a video. Obviously, you're watching it, and then the rest of the class period is going to be available for you to be working on your travel brochure, which I'll talk a little bit more about in just a moment. Go ahead, get started on the do now. There are 3 questions there. Pause the video when you're done and we'll go through the answers together. And at that point, we'll continue on with some announcements. All right, so looking at the do now, question number 1, how many AUs is the Oort cloud from the sun? I believe the answer ends up being around 2,000 to 5,000 AUs. I think. I have to double check that to be perfectly honest. Number 2, what is a meteor? It's a piece of space debris. It could be rock, it could be metal, it could be even something man-made that falls through the atmosphere and burns up. Number 3, which planet is 6th from the sun? So we've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, so it would be Saturn. That would be the 6th one from the planet. Thank you to everybody that did the retake. I hope that you were all able to improve your scores. Those are all posted as well, so you could take a look if you need. As far as today goes, you will be working on your solar system travel brochure. It is due on Thursday. You will have all of class period today, maybe a little bit more next class period as well. We'll have to see how things end up going. So just make sure you have that written down in your planners. By the end of today, you should be able to tell me about the scale of the solar system, specifically in reference to your own space object. So if you're doing the planets or one of the dwarf planets, etc. You should also be able to give me scales of different, the sizes of different objects according to scale as well. So no vocab. 3 something cools. The moon is moving away from us. It's moving about 3 or 5 centimeters a year, like 2.5 inches a year away from the Earth. Every time it goes around our planet, it moves just a little bit farther away. It might not seem like a big deal, but in about 1 billion years, it will cause some really major things to take place on our planet. It's going to mess with the tides. If it does eventually get released from our Earth's orbit, or orbiting around the Earth, it could then get shot off into space and collected by another, probably more gravitationally strong planet like Jupiter or Saturn. But when it does go, there would be massive tsunamis, tidal waves, and also a lot of bad things with plate tectonics that would take place as well. Basically, a lot of earthquakes and volcanoes happening simultaneously. So, second, something cool. Wireless charging is becoming big for cell phones. However, there is also a car now. BMW has a wireless charging car. All you have to do is drive the car over the top of the pad, and it's able to charge the car wirelessly, which is pretty sweet. Only works for electric vehicles, obviously, but still a really cool idea. And you can't get hurt by it if you were to like stand on the pad or get anywhere near it there, unless you have an induction charger within yourself. You'd be perfectly fine. Third, something cool, octopuses. I've had a lot of people ask what's my favorite animal in the Q4H's, and now today I'll actually finally get around to telling you why the octopus is so amazing. The first is it's a polymorph. Its skin is able to change shape. Basically, it can control if it wants to be bumpy or smooth or spiny. So it can change the shape of its skin. It's also I believe it would be called a chromomorph as well. It's able to change the color of its skin to whatever color it wants, just like a chameleon, to help camouflage. So between changing the texture as well as changing the color, it's ridiculously good at camouflaging. It has a beak, which a lot of students don't realize, not a mouth. It has a beak like a bird. But the really cool thing is that the rest of its body has 0 bones. So if it wanted to fit into a crack, it could basically fit through a crack as long as its beak, the only hard part of its entire body, could fit through that crack. so it can squish itself down. Octopuses have 3 hearts, so if one of them went bad, they'd be able to rely on any of the others as well. They have something called ganglion neurons spread throughout their entire body. And what that means is instead of having a brain located inside of their head, which they do, they've got a cluster there, but it spreads, their brain spreads throughout all of their body and into every single one of their arms as well. So their brain is everywhere in their body. What that means is that if one of their arms was to be severed for whatever reason, the arm would continue to survive because it still has part of the brain attached to it. The only thing that would stop it from moving would be if once it runs out of food or runs out of energy, because it obviously doesn't have, each of the arms doesn't have a mouth. But that would be the only thing that would keep it from dying. In fact, it would still hunt, and it would still try to, if it grabbed prey, it would still put it to where the mouth used to be, which is crazy. What else is there? Oh, severed limbs. Some octopuses can regrow arms. And let's see, what was the last one? I can't remember. Something about the suction cups. Each of the suction cups that you could see on it help it to grip, but they can hold about like 40 pounds each, so they can be really, really strong as well. And baby octopuses are just very, very cute. You can look it up later. So lots of different reasons why I like octopuses. They're pretty awesome. Oh, and I forgot. The other ones, they can either shoot ink at predators to try to blind them. They also are able to shoot water out of a water jet to siphon and basically get away from predators at speeds of like 40 kilometers per hour, which is pretty fast. Not for very long, but it just kind of goes squirts and then flies away. And some octopuses also have infrared capabilities as well, which is pretty awesome too. Anyway, okay, there we go. Let's see. As far as today goes, you are going to be doing 2 things. The first of is if you aren't done with your scale model system part 1. Let's see. It's this one, I believe. No, this one. Yeah. If you didn't get done with this one, I'd suggest doing that first, because you will have to be able to do something with it next class period. We'll be changing around the numbers, and you'll have to be able to calculate the scale. If you do get done with it, just double check against someone else's who's already finished. That would be a good way to see if you know how to do it, because that is what your your lab score will be, seeing if you can do this scale conversions. So the second thing that you're going to do then is starting working on your travel brochure. Now in Classroom, this document has already been posted. It gives you a checklist of exactly what you have to include on there. I've given you some sources that you could start if you haven't already begun looking at some other sources to find information. You can use some of those. I also posted 2 drawings. Both of them are in Classroom. And what you could do with these drawings, basically you're going to be doing your brochure on an A4 sheet of paper. If you want to type, you'll make a copy of this because I think you are view only. Basically, you can type all of your information if you'd like to do that. If you wanted to erase all of these things and just print the paper off, sort of like this, and print off the paper to be able to write into the different sections, you could do it that way as well. I just decided to give you the template because it'll be easier for us to put it together. There are 2 pages to it because there are a total of 6 sides. Once it's all folded up, everything will be folded along these lines. So you have a front side and a back side. So if you wanted to use this, and you could do your flag if you wanted to draw it by hand. If you wanted to use drawing, Google Drawing, this whole thing is a drawing, by the way, so you could just add a shape. Let's say if you wanted a red stripe or whatever, you could just put that in there, a blue stripe. That works. Again, the only thing that you cannot do is take clip art from the internet and use that in your brochure. If you want to leave space, let's say like up here, if you wanted to leave space and print it off, and then you can go back and draw, or better yet on your title page, if you wanted to draw a picture of what it would look like, feel free to do that. But you do have the entirety of the class period to work on this. I'm saying that you will be allowed to wear your headphones and listen to music if it is not streaming. So you can't be on the internet downloading or listening to music online. If you have your own music to listen to, you can do that. But I don't want Mr. Garber to have to come in and kick people off the internet because they're listening to it streaming. Anyway, all of those you can work on throughout the course of the day. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. Other than that, I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye-bye.